Just minutes ago, a horrifying video from a drone inside the Grand Canyon began spreading worldwide.
The country has a new national monument, and it's called the Ancestral Footprints of the Grand Canyon.
Military high-ranking officers have been on red alert since the footage was leaked. Nobody expected this otherworldly scene beneath the red cliffs, where millions of tourists pass by, unaware of the lurking danger. Why do so many veterans even lose their consciousness when they come across the implications of this horrible discovery? Let us explore the extraterrestrial truth that was just exposed before it wiped out humanity. The Grand Canyon's unavoidable dangers. Said it was impossible to send a drone into the most restricted areas of the Grand Canyon. Despite this, a bold team decided to ignore these warnings, driven by a strong desire to discover what was hidden beneath the famous red cliffs. How could such advanced technology appear in a place and time where it shouldn't exist? There were objects and tools found that seemed out of place. Could this be evidence supporting old stories of ancient Egyptians once visiting the canyon? The footage not only stirred up the soil, it stirred up worldwide attention and curiosity. The Grand Canyon isn't just a beautiful sight, it's a testament to the powerful natural forces that have shaped our planet over millions of years. Roughly 5 million years ago, a large natural dam broke, forming a huge lake in what is today northern Arizona. When this lake drained, it left the job of shaping the canyon to the Colorado River, which slowly carved its way through the rock, driven by nothing more than the flow of water and the passage of time. For the tribes who have lived in the Grand Canyon region for centuries, this place holds more than just natural beauty. It is a sacred area, deeply integrated into their cultural identities and spiritual beliefs. The Havasupai, for example, view the canyon as a path that souls must follow after death to reach their final resting place, whether it be a paradise or a place of suffering. For other tribes like the Hopi, Paiute, and Navajo, the dramatic landscapes carry deep cultural significance embedded in their traditions and stories. Recent findings, however, have started to challenge these long-held views about when humans first arrived in America. In 2022, fossilized human footprints were found in White Sands National Park in New Mexico, indicating that humans were present in the Americas around 23,000 years ago, much earlier than previously believed. This discovery sent shockwaves through the archaeological community and suggested that humans might have been present during the formation of the Grand Canyon, reigniting debates about how and when the first humans migrated across the Bering Land Bridge to North America. Exploring the past of the Earth is intriguing, but the Grand Canyon might be hiding even more remarkable findings. Early in the 20th century, an explorer named G.E. Kincaid discovered what seemed to be an ancient city while navigating the Colorado River. On the high canyon walls, he found man-made structures, steps, tunnels, and rooms that were decorated with Egyptian hieroglyphs. Further exploration revealed an extensive network of rooms and passageways that indicated this was not just a simple cave system, but rather a sophisticated ancient city, constructed by a civilization with advanced architectural techniques. While the Grand Canyon is considered sacred by Native American tribes, these intriguing discoveries raise serious questions. Were ancient civilizations involved in the history of the canyon? The ongoing research and debates continue to captivate those interested in history and archaeology, suggesting that our understanding of the canyon, and perhaps of human history on this continent, is far from complete. The artifacts that were discovered really threw the theorists into confusion. Among these finds were symbols written in hieroglyphics, mummies wrapped in cloths and bark, and collections of copper artifacts that looked like they were made in ancient Egypt. To the surprise of the explorers, every sign seemed to point to the ancient Egyptians as the creators. The thought that the builders of the pyramids could have crossed an ocean to construct underground cities in the Grand Canyon sounds like something out of a fiction book rather than fact. However, some pieces of evidence presented by those who support this idea gave it a bit of weight. The Arizona Gazette published a story suggesting that sailors from Egypt might have traveled to the Grand Canyon. This idea was quickly forgotten afterward. In the early 1900s, very large human skeletons, about 8 feet tall, were reportedly found across the Midwest, which matched old stories about giants. Strangely, these skeletons disappeared after they were initially examined. There were also stories proposing that the ancient Puebloan people might have had ancestors who were pale-skinned and resembled Egyptians, and who possessed advanced knowledge. Could these separate and seemingly unbelievable bits of information actually support the idea that ancient Egyptians or other skilled seafaring people had made it to the Grand Canyon? The findings from the excavation at the Citadel were claimed to be the strongest evidence yet. Additionally, key explorers like Kincaid and Professor S.A. Jordan disappeared from the site without any clear reason. Official statements claimed that their field notes, samples, and even crates of artifacts that had been previously sent to the Smithsonian were suddenly untraceable or denied outright. What could have been one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the century was quickly covered up. The government immediately banned any further exploration or mapping of the area, all while denying any knowledge of the Citadel's existence. What really happened remains unclear. For those seeking the truth, this sudden reversal and apparent concealment by well-known institutions only raised more doubts. It reinforced the belief that the Citadel might have contained undeniable proof of an ancient, advanced civilization in America, one that could challenge the established stories of human history. This belief led to increased speculation and a strengthened conviction among some that history as we know it might need significant revision based on these findings. Whatever happened to Kincaid's groundbreaking discovery of an ancient city in the Grand Canyon and artifacts that looked like they were from ancient Egypt, it seems clear that the truth was intentionally hidden. This wasn't a simple oversight. The evidence disappearing and explorers going missing suggest a planned effort to keep this archaeological story hidden. Whether it's a case of institutions hiding the truth or something more sinister, it's obvious that there was a strong effort to prevent this story from being known. Despite the risks and warnings, the chance to uncover hidden archaeological treasures in the Grand Canyon has been irresistible for many. After the sudden stop of the Smithsonian's excavation of the Citadel several decades ago, brave explorers and researchers have not stopped their investigations into this complex tale. The search for the Citadel took unexpected turns, fueled by new clues and old stories. The Citadel's private path. For instance, Jerry and Kathy Wills picked up the investigation in the late 1990s where Kincaid left off. They explored the remote areas of the canyon for 3 years, searching for any sign of the elusive entrance to the Citadel. Their efforts brought them to what looked like an old air vent that might lead inside. However, their hopes were crushed when they found the entrance had been blocked with concrete. The presence of abandoned climbing gear at the site suggested that someone, possibly from a governmental agency, had deliberately sealed it off. Others have turned to native tribal stories, trying to match ancient tales with physical landmarks in the Four Corners region. Podcaster John Ruckert has discussed many of these stories on his show, including findings of unique ancient cliff dwellings that don't fit the usual Native American architectural styles. These minor discoveries suggest there might be links to the larger story of the Citadel. The bits and pieces found over time keep pointing back to the idea that a highly advanced civilization, perhaps from across the ocean, once traveled to these now secluded desert lands, leaving behind subtle hints now covered by time and the unchanging faces of the canyon's red rock walls. A community dedicated to uncovering this hidden history has formed, with more and more independent researchers and documentary filmmakers venturing into the canyon. They are driven by the hope of finding that key piece of evidence that could finally fill in the missing pieces and possibly rewrite the story of human history. This small group of enthusiasts even managed to capture the attention of prominent figures at National Geographic, leading to a significant investment in the 1980s. They funded a large expedition with a budget of $500,000, led by an archaeologist named Frank Barnes. The project, ambitiously titled The Exploration of the Bizarre, was promoted as the ultimate scientific investigation aimed at conclusively proving or disproving the existence of the Citadel. Barnes's team was well equipped with the latest scanning technology and tools. They meticulously analyzed soil samples, conducted interviews with local tribes, and thoroughly reviewed historical documents, sparing no effort. Barnes confidently told newspapers, "If it's there, we'll find it." However, their extensive search yielded no tangible results. They found no remains of any city, no artifacts, and no evidence to support the grand tales of the Citadel. After all the resources spent and time invested, Barnes concluded that Kincaid might have been confused or hallucinating due to the tough conditions in the canyon, suggesting that the legend of the Citadel was just an exaggerated story. Was the investigation concluded there? Not for those who believed in conspiracy theories. To these skeptics, the unsuccessful expedition was seen as yet another attempt by powerful figures to suppress a significant truth that was deemed too shocking for the general public. Whether or not one believes in this conspiracy theory, it is evident that the Grand Canyon still has many questions left unanswered. The Grand Canyon is truly a breathtaking natural wonder. Its vast layers of red rock stretch for miles, offering stunning vistas that captivate visitors. But beyond its visual splendor, this geological jewel is rumored to conceal even more astonishing hidden that remain unknown to the general populace. One such mystery involves the alleged ghost sightings and paranormal activities reported within the depths of the Grand Canyon caverns. Situated thousands of feet beneath the rim of the Grand Canyon, these caverns form an extensive network of intrigues, underground passages, and chambers. While the sheer beauty of these caverns is undeniable, they are also said to host a darker, more unsettling presence. Spirits that have not found peace. Over the past several decades, it has been reported that at least 8 people have died within these caverns, their spirits possibly lingering in the perpetual darkness. Both staff and visitors of the caverns have claimed to experience unexplained paranormal phenomena and chilling ghost sightings. The ghost of a man named Walter Peck is reported to be seen frequently, adding a layer of intrigue and fear to the already horrible caverns. These elements of natural splendor combined with tales of the paranormal make the Grand Canyon not just a place of scenic beauty and historical interest, but also a center of attraction for those who are fascinated by the unexplained. This mix of awe-inspiring landscapes and intrigue stories continues to draw both researchers and thrill-seekers, eager to explore what lies beneath the surface of this iconic American landmark. Walter Peck is not the only ghost believed to inhabit these caverns. Legends also tell of the son of a past owner who is said to have ended his own life by hanging himself at the top of the mines. His troubled spirit is thought to still haunt the area. Furthermore, a tour guide who died right at the cavern's entrance is rumored to be forever leading tours, guiding visitors eternally through the dark paths. Adding to the chilling atmosphere, these caverns once served as a burial ground used by Native Americans, and they contain the remains of the deceased. Today, many visitors to the caverns report that they can hear soft whispering and faint voices echoing through the darkness, which some believe to be the lingering voices of these ancient spirits. Overnight visitors have reported seeing ghostly figures of Native Americans dancing on the cavern walls, their silhouettes accompanied by the distant sound of ancient chanting. There's also the legend of the giants. According to local stories, giants once lived in a hidden underground city beneath the vast cliffs and winding paths of the Grand Canyon. This tale was famously recorded by a man named Kincaid, who claimed to have found an entrance to this hidden city while traveling through the canyon by boat. His account was published on April 5, 1909, in the Arizona Gazette, and has intrigued people ever since. The Grand Canyon's hidden depths still draw curious minds, eager to uncover lost pieces of the past. The giants of the Grand Canyon. Although filled with intrigue and a sense of adventure, these narratives are often viewed with skepticism. The idea of giants dwelling beneath the Grand Canyon resembles a plot from a mythical storybook, and the consistent tales of ghost sightings and eerie occurrences in the caverns seem overly perfect, perhaps enhanced over time. Nonetheless, these stories continue to be part of the Grand Canyon's allure, attracting those interested in the supernatural and the unknown. Whether these tales are just old folklore or hold some element of truth, they certainly contribute to the Grand Canyon's reputation, not only as a natural wonder, but also as a place filled with America's more spectral and legendary past. These stories enrich the experience of the canyon, offering a mix of natural beauty and spooky tales that keep the legend of the canyon alive in the minds of visitors and enthusiasts alike. According to the article, Kincaid's find was so extraordinary that even the Smithsonian Institution reportedly got involved, funding his exploration of what was claimed to be a hidden city. They supposedly unearthed an entire city, accessible only by a tunnel stretching more than 4,000 feet underground. But the story didn't stop there. It is said that the entrance to the tunnel is located halfway up a canyon wall, a place very difficult to reach and often missed by those who aren't specifically looking for it. Within this alleged lost city, the researchers are said to have found wall engravings that were remarkably similar to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. One of the most incredible claims from the exploration was the discovery of giant mummified bodies wrapped in dark linens, amongst numerous artifacts suggesting the existence of a long-lost civilization. Notably, no photographs were ever taken of this supposed discovery, which only adds to the doubts surrounding the tale. Continuing with what seems like a story pulled from a fantasy book, the underground city was described as having numerous rooms filled with diverse artifacts from around the world, hinting at a center of ancient global exchange or simply a concocted tale. Descriptions of golden idols and elaborate pottery were detailed in the accounts, yet none of these items have been displayed in public or studied by experts. Additionally, the story detailed a grand chamber at the core of the civilization, adorned with gold leaf and precious stones, mirroring the grandeur of ancient Egyptian tombs. Despite such grandiose descriptions, there has never been any verification by credible sources to confirm the existence of these artifacts or even the site itself. Skeptics argue that if such a groundbreaking discovery were true, it would revolutionize our understanding of not only American history, but also the history of ancient civilizations worldwide. Yet, the broader academic community has never acknowledged finding such artifacts or locations, leading many to conclude that Kincaid's narrative might have been exaggerated or entirely made up. The lack of photographic proof and the absence of subsequent explorations providing concrete evidence further cast doubt on the claims. This raises suspicions that the story is more of a crafted legend intended to intrigue and captivate readers rather than a factual account of historical discovery. Such tales, while engaging, often lack the solid evidence needed to be taken seriously in historical discussions. Throughout the decades, the legend of a giant's underground city has continued to draw the interest of numerous explorers and researchers, despite its dubious authenticity. This mythical place has been the focus of searches for hundreds of years, with some individuals devoting their lives to searching for any hint that might lead them to this hidden city. Other theories, even more fantastical, suggest that these giants could have been visitors from other worlds or dimensions, positing that their city was a gateway to realms far beyond human understanding. The undeniable fact is that the Grand Canyon is filled with many unexplained phenomena that continue to attract and confuse people, whether one chooses to believe these tales or dismiss them as mere fabrications. For the adventurous and the curious, there might still be a chance to uncover the truth about these supposed giants, hidden deep within the extensive network of the canyon's passages and caverns. The intrigue of these stories fuels the spirit of exploration, pushing the bold to venture further into the depths of the canyon in hopes of discovering evidence that could transform these ancient legends into confirmed facts. The ongoing allure of these tales encourages new generations of curious minds to explore the Grand Canyon, armed with questions and the hope of revealing hidden truths. The canyon itself, with its deep caverns and winding paths, serves as a natural invitation to those drawn to the unknown. As these explorers traverse its vast landscapes, they not only chase the shadows of legends, but also contribute to the rich tapestry of narratives that the Grand Canyon inspires. Whether these stories are based on real events or not, they continue to be a powerful part of the lore surrounding this natural wonder, challenging us to question what might lie beneath the surface of what we see. Next, let's discuss the UFO sightings over the canyon. The Grand Canyon, known for attracting tourists and adventurers from around the world, also hosts another phenomenon that grabs attention: frequent reports of UFO sightings. On June 27, 2020, an event described by some as extraordinary occurred. An object was reported hovering over the southern rim of the Grand Canyon. This is not uncommon, as experts indicate that the Grand Canyon is a hotspot for such sightings, which supposedly occur quite often. This specific sighting stood out because it was captured on video, providing what some people consider concrete proof of these unusual events. The video showed an odd white disc or sphere floating above the canyon, with its dark center standing out against the backdrop of the sky's blue tones. Fans of alien theories were quick to explain this sighting. They suggested that the craft was operated by beings from another planet, here to observe human activity. Although there is no strong evidence to support this idea, they argue that the exact nature of this object remains unknown. What is certain is that on that evening, something out of the ordinary was seen moving through the skies above Arizona, seemingly taking a slow tour over the Grand Canyon. Additionally, more than a dozen onlookers reported seeing this strange, luminous object linger above the canyon for nearly half an hour, which lends more substance to the claims of those who witnessed it. Above the canyon's beauty, the sky holds its own intrigues, inviting us to look closer, from dinosaurs to UFOs. These types of sightings are often met with skepticism as well as fascination. Some people dismiss them as simple mistakes in identifying everyday objects or aircraft, while others believe they could be evidence of visits from space. These reports continue to spark interest and debate, adding to the Grand Canyon's reputation as a place surrounded in intrigue. Like many others, this particular incident remains a topic of lively discussion, with each new report bringing renewed speculation about what intrigues might exist beyond our current understanding of the world. According to multiple accounts from eyewitnesses, the unidentified object abruptly altered its flight path and began to move in a way that defied the capabilities of any known human-engineered aircraft. It accelerated and decelerated rapidly, displaying maneuvers that contradicted known aerospace dynamics. A variety of explanations have been proposed, ranging from top-secret military tests to rare atmospheric phenomena. Yet, for those who observed this phenomenon firsthand, it was a profound and unsettling experience. They encountered something that fundamentally challenged their understanding of the world, presenting them with a tantalizing peek at potential realities beyond normal perception. Regardless of personal beliefs about extraterrestrial life, it's undeniable that the Grand Canyon has become a central scene for UFO sightings. Each report contributes to the growing aura of intrigue surrounding the area, attracting a wide range of individuals, including scientists, skeptics, and those driven by pure curiosity, all trying to decode the seemingly elusive truth behind these perplexing events. Beyond its reputation for unexplained aerial phenomena, the Grand Canyon is also deeply significant for its rich historical and archaeological value. Among its treasures is the Tusayan Ruins, located within the Grand Canyon National Park, a site that has captured the attention of people globally. Recognized as one of the most important archaeological sites in Arizona, the Tusayan Ruins shed light on the lifestyles of the ancestral Puebloan people who once called this region their home. The Tusayan Ruins are distinguished as the only ancient archaeological site officially recognized within the park's boundaries. This site illustrates the deep cultural heritage that has shaped the environment over thousands of years. Visitors to the site can see the remnants of a once vibrant community, the outlines of small dwellings, the deteriorating walls of storage areas, and the scattered stones that once served as the foundations for modest homes. Research on timber found at the site reveals that the Tusayan Ruins were inhabited for only about 20 years, beginning in 1185. This short period of occupancy raises intriguing questions about the reasons for the rapid abandonment of such an apparently crucial settlement, like the brief intrigues appearances of UFOs above the canyon. The brief habitation of the Tusayan ruins poses yet another layer of intrigue for historians and archaeologists who are piecing together the complex narrative of human presence in this vast and storied landscape. The Tusayan ruins, initially unearthed in the 1930s, received attention over the decades with preservation efforts in the 1940s and 1960s. In 1974, these ruins gained official recognition by being added to the National Register of Historic Places, ensuring that they would be preserved for the enjoyment and education of future generations. Despite the extensive archaeological work that has taken place, much about the ruins remains unclear. We still have a very limited understanding of the daily lives of the inhabitants, the societal structure they lived within, how many people resided there, what additional buildings might have existed, and, crucially, why this settlement was abruptly abandoned after only 20 years. As one walks among the ruins, with their slowly deteriorating walls and the faint outlines of what were once homes, it's easy to get lost in thought, imagining the bustling life that once filled this space. The Tusayan ruins are a vivid reminder of the diverse cultures that have traversed through the Grand Canyon over the centuries, each adding a layer to its rich historical narrative. Elsewhere in the Grand Canyon, a discovery that astounded the scientific community involved the fossilized footprints of dinosaurs, estimated to be over 313 million years old. This significant find was made completely by accident in 2016 when part of a cliff unexpectedly collapsed. The discovery occurred during what was supposed to be a routine hike led by Norwegian geology professor Alan Krill with a group of his students. As they walked along the trail, they stumbled upon a boulder that clearly bore the footprints of a prehistoric dinosaur, starkly imprinting a link to the canyon's distant paleontological past right before their eyes. Subsequent detailed examinations by teams of scientists confirmed that these footprints belonged to one of the oldest known shelled, egg-laying reptiles. These ancient tracks not only provide crucial evidence about the types of creatures that once roamed these lands, but also mark the Grand Canyon as a pivotal site for understanding early reptilian life on Earth. The footprints show the earliest evidence of such reptiles walking across what was once a vast sandy dune, now transformed into the rocky expanse of the canyon. This adds another layer to our understanding of the Grand Canyon, highlighting its role as a silent observer to the continuous march of life on our planet, from the thriving communities of ancient peoples to the slow meanderings of dinosaurs. Unfortunately, pinpointing the exact type of dinosaurs that created these ancient footprints remains an unresolved challenge. While researchers can tell from the footprints that these were small, reptilian creatures that stayed close to the ground, the specific species they belong to continues to elude discovery, lost to the countless years that have passed since they walked the Earth. Could you survive a night in this forgotten Cold War relic, surrounded by history and silence? Comment your thoughts below, like, and subscribe for more.